Hello, this is Uday. In this video, we are going to understand about the Datediff function in the SQL Server. Along with that, we will also see how to calculate the age, how to calculate the experience of an employee using the Datediff functions through the SQL Server. Let's try to understand what exactly the Datediff function does first. Datediff is one of the important functions in the SQL Server which fetches us the difference between two dates. Like the date could be in different intervals, like if you want to get the date difference in year or the month or the days or the weeks, even the seconds, minutes, milliseconds. So there are multiple intervals wherein you can get the difference of two dates using the datediff functions. So datediff function, the syntax is quite simple. It accepts three parameters by keyword as datediff, and within the parenthesis it will accept the interval, like if you want to have the interval as year and then the date 1 and the date 2. So eventually it will calculate the difference between two dates with an interval of year. Let's try to understand this using an example. I'll declare a variable with the name date, which is in varchar, and I'll set this date to some random value like 2011 October month, and the date is. So in order to get the difference of this date from the today's date, we use the datediff function. How do we select it? Let's try to select the date first, the one that we have created. You just give me the date. If I want to select the date differences between this date and the current date, I can simply use the datediff function that we have just discussed. I want to have the interval as year, and my first date would be the date. I want to get the difference with the today's date. For getting the today's date, use this system function, that is getDate. Using this, we can get the difference between 2022 today's date, today's year, and 2011 is in the years. Similarly, we can get the difference in months as well. In the interval, we can just provide the months. So the difference in month is 134. We can similarly use other variables or other intervals like the day or the day of the year or the week. Alright. So this is basically the datediff function where it gets the difference between two dates. Let's try to find out an age of an employee. So this is a real-time scenarios like where we were asked to get the age of an employee or student using a particular date, wherein let's say I have a table, select star from employee, and my employee table contains employee name, manager, hire date, salary, department ID, and the birth dates. So in order to get the age of employees, type selecting, I would also required employee name, and I'll get the birth date as well, just to verify the age. In the logic of age, datediff year, and then my birth date, get the date difference with the today's date. So this would be the difference in year of the dates with the birth date and the current date. So I'll just give the name as age from the table employee. This table or this logic will give me the difference in years of, let's say the birth date is 1960 to the today's year, that is 2022. So let's consider there is one more scenario where I have a date as 2021 and the month is 12 and the date is, let's consider as 30. So when I try to execute this, it gives me the difference in year as 1, whereas if I can look at the date, it is December 30, 2021, and the today's date is December 29, 2022, whereas it hasn't completed one complete year, but it is still showing the year difference as 1. So in such scenario, what we can do is there are quite few manipulations. I can subtract the date or the number based on my month and day. Let's consider this is the date, this is the year that I have received using the Datediff, and here I'll apply another condition. Case when my month of date is greater than my month of get date, that is today's date. If my date of birth is, let's consider 11th, and I am trying to pull the date, if I am trying to pull the date difference in the October, it won't pull as the correct date. So that is why I am just trying to search if my month of the birth date is greater than the month of the today's date, then subtract the number by 1, else 0. What it does, it just sees that even though the month is same, it doesn't actually calculates the number. Okay, or when my month of date is equal to month of get date and the day of my birth date is greater than the day of my today's date. In such scenario, I am asking to consider this as 1. In all the other scenarios, consider as 0. So what it shows, so even though my date is same, my year difference in year is same, and my months are same, but my day is greater than today's current day. Today is 29th and my birthday is 30. That means it hasn't completed one complete year. That's why I'm just subtracting the year difference by 1. So let's consider date of birth is 2021-12, and then the day is, consider it as 28th. So 28th is the one past day from today. It will consider as an year complete age of 1. So we will apply the same logic out here, where we are just trying to find out the age of an employee. We will subtract the difference of 1 or 0. Case when month of birth date is greater than month of get date, or my month birth date equals month of get date and my day of birth date is greater than my day of get date. So in all these scenarios, consider subtracting to 1. In all the other scenarios, consider subtracting to 0. That is the end of the case. Let's try to execute. This will give us the exact year of the age. Similarly, we can also find out the experience of an employee using the same logic and the same function. What we can do out here is, instead of using the birth date, what we can consider it as, my employee table has got the hire date. I can simply replace the birth date with my hire date column. It will give me the experience of the employees. This way we can get the Datediff functions, which is quite important in SQL Server. I hope this video is helpful to you. Please like the video, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you.